Rick, before we get to the game this week, it's been announced this morning that you've re-signed as coach for an extra 2 seasons. That's good news for you and the club.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited about it, Ben. It's something I've been talking to Simon Hawkins about for a couple of weeks now, from a direction he got from the board. And yesterday afternoon I went and visited Alan Hawke in hospital, and everything got the okay, and it was lovely to see Alan. He's had a real tough period of illness over the last 4 years, and to say that seeing him yesterday, and for what he's had to endure over the last 4 years, he's the most resilient, toughest person I've met in my life, and it was great to be able to sit there and have a chat about the club and some planning going forward. And I appreciate the support and the trust that they put in me.
Alan and the board voted unanimously to have you stay as coach. It must be a great faith in what you've been able to build here over the past few years.
Look, I appreciate the support. I always say the support from the board and Don here has been second to none. It's what a coach needs. A coach needs longevity, and to build a competitive roster, it's so important to have that support behind you, knowing the fact that you've got people there all rowing in the same direction. No one's pulling in another direction from the journey we're on. Over the years that I've been here, it's been we've all got the same goals and values, and we all want to win a competition. We've got a roster at the moment that's got a lot of youth, and they're all gaining experience, and I do see a bright future for what these youth are displaying. We've got good senior role models around the youth, and there's a great leadership group here. So, look, we're all wanting what our fans want, and that's to win a grand final, and that is something I work at and think about every day of my life.
One of the points that Alan made was that your appointment continues to provide stability to the organisation, and those players who are looking to re-sign or have already re-signed, shows them where the direction the club's going.
Stability is really good from a coach's point of view, from his leaders above him, and it's also great for my players in regards to them having stability. I've been talking to the club about this for a couple of months now, and I've waited. I didn't make a decision early in the year when it was first discussed, because I wanted to make sure I was the right person for the club too, because I'm a Canberra boy. I've said it a number of times before. I won't be coaching anywhere else after this this coaching position. But when I feel and know that I'm not the right person for the job, I've said to Don and Simon and Alan a number of times before, I will tell you. You won't have to tell me.
Good news off the back, aligned with this is the re-signing of 4 players this week. Zach Wolford, James Schiller, Matt Frawley, Adam Mariota. I mean, that's a really positive sign too at the moment.
It's really positive. Positive the fact that their managers and the players all see what we're trying to build here. Another thing is that you see the young players that we've got playing first grade at the moment. You put another season or 2 seasons into those guys, especially our outside backs, and all of a sudden they're 40, 50 game NRL players, and that's the experience you want in your squad. There's only one way to get to that, and that's by debuting your young players and having trust in them, and that's what we do at this club. We speak to the managers, and if the player commits and the player sacrifices, the player's good enough to play NRL, we debut them and give them their opportunity. We don't buy over top of them, and it's been something where it's a waiting pattern at the moment for us with a number of our youth, but they are playing NRL, and we've got probably another 3 or 4 boys not far away from making their debuts to get their opportunity as well. And again, we're not a club to buy over our youth when we're giving them that chance to play NRL and showing us that they can be a player that we believe we can win a competition with.
Sure, it's been a really buoyant week around training up to that win against Melbourne, but how important has it been to refocus for this weekend against the Warriors?
We refocus the day after. It's wonderful to win that game in Melbourne. It's a tough game, but coming back now, playing at home, we want to make our fans proud as well, and we want to come back home here and continue that type of performance. And the Warriors are going to be a very tough gig. You know, we've seen that in Redcliffe when they beat us in Redcliffe. They're a big physical football team, so we're going to have another tough game. But we've put ourselves into a position now that the outcome of this season will be depending on us. We won't have to worry about any other football team. It'll depend on us, and each game is a very, very vital game now.
The team this week's had to undergo a few changes due to injury, but you get Elliot Whitehead, Nick Cottridge back, and Albert Hopewade will fill in for wrap-up. I mean, it's great to have those players available to come in. Yeah,
it was a disappointing losing Rapper. He provides a lot of energy, and James Schiller, who's just at the start of his journey, and wonderful that he has re-signed. He's a great young prospect. It's disappointing to have that disruption again. He's had a little bit of a disrupted start to his NRL career, James. He's had a collarbone problem and now an ankle problem, but he's a player for the future. Disappointing to lose them, but then to be able to bring in another young boy who debuted last week off the bench in Albert Hopewade, and an experienced player with Nicky Cottridge. You need that depth to have success at a club. So those younger boys around our senior players are creating that depth.